Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Can y'all hear me? I just realized I didn't have my microphone. I hope you guys can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. Okay. Well, I can't see that either. Well, it is officially FRI-YAY. Let me check these settings. Hold on. I don't want to have one of my infamous oopsies. Let's do this.
I did have a microphone, but I feel better here. Okay, there we go. It is officially, it said I had one, but I didn't believe it. It's officially FRI-YAY. It's the end of your work week, and I hope you guys have had a fantastic week. As you can see, I'm on the run again, possibly from the law, but you never know. You never know where we're going to go. Actually, I'm really excited. I'm on my way up to the sheriff's conference. I'll be coming at you guys from there some, and just once I get a better schedule, I'll be able to see if we need to get some people to help with the show this week. But we'll see. You guys know that we always roll up the punches, but we always make sure we bring you action-packed, nonstop information and news and all of the things that go along with it, and just real life, because that's who we are. Now, before we get started on the show today, there is a song that is everyone is getting all in a fluster over, and I like it. I do. I'm gonna play this song. I'm even gonna play it in its entirety. YouTube hasn't banned it yet. CMT did, but YouTube hasn't. So let's take a listen here, and I want you to watch this video in case you haven't seen it. I watched the full thing this morning. So yeah, let's see what you guys think.
Sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town full of good old boys, raised up right. If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town.
These farmers are dropping their own crops for the day. A friend is in need, and they've come to help.
It's what this community and a lot of our communities stand for. Somebody needs some help, you'll get it.
Now, I listened to the song before I watched the video, and the song was good. I was like, that's not a bad song. I kind of like it. All right, no big deal. It just sounds like a country song to me. I mean, because it kind of did, because that's typically what country music stands for is, standing up for the small guy and America and all that kind of stuff. Remember Toby Keith and all that kind of jazz. But then I was finding out it wasn't so much the song, even though it was the video. And so Jason Aldean's video was removed from CMT. And so now people are like, we have to ban CMT. And I was like, first of all, you should have been banning CMT at least a year ago. If you guys remember, or during the award seasons, because during the award seasons is when CMT thought it was appropriate to bring in all the drag queens during one of the songs and make a song about drag queens and pride and all that BS, which is not the base of country music. Never, ever has that been the base for country music, is left-wing agendaism. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. And I mean, all the way back, Willie Nelson is a leftist now, but he was always very pro-America, right? So this whole mentality to me is just Charlie Daniels, Hank Williams Jr., all of these. I mean, we could sit here and fill up an entire show full of songs from country music that are very pro-America, pro the little guy, pro standing up for America, like the whole entire thing, right? Now, I need you guys to understand. So they're calling this a lynching song, and he's race baiting, and he's putting a focus for white people to go out and hang BLM members. That was actually something that I read. I don't know, like 3:00 this morning, some ridiculous amount of time. So no, I did not get the screenshot. But yeah, so they're calling this a lynching song. So now people are standing up beside Jason Aldean. Luke Owens. Luke Owens, I think, is one who came right to his defense. There's a comedian, Tim. Wasn't Tim Curry, it was somebody else, Tim something. I saw made a big deal on Fox News this morning. And Jason Aldean, here's part of the statement that Jason Aldean put out. He said, my political views have never been something I've hidden from. And I know that a lot of us in this country don't agree on how we get back to a sense of normalcy where we go at least a day without a headline that keeps us up at night. He wrote, but the desire for it too, that's what this song is about. Aldean's wife, Brittany, who's also very public about their political leanings and their faith, said that Brittany is criticizing media's coverage of the song, saying on Instagram that there should be more focus on real stories such as child trafficking. So it's fun when you're watching these people who are not afraid to stand up and not back down, right? We Ted Nugent's one of them, of course, that we know personally. Kid Rock is another one, and now they're coming after Jason Aldean. And so now there's this huge flood and rush to ban CMT. CMT should have been banned a long time ago. Okay, this isn't just some honky tonk brawls, and treating. This isn't those songs. Like this is a systematic. They're pushing back. CMT did what Budweiser did 6 months ago. But nobody wanted to catch on to it. Everyone was just like, I can't believe that girl did that, and I can't believe CMT let him do it. And so they just went along with it. But now I think what happened is that people saw this go woke, go broke culture is actually working this time. Like I think we've tried it before and it's not worked. I'm stuck with those convictions. Ben and Jerry's is one. I haven't eaten Ben and Jerry's ice cream in probably 10 years because. If you know anything about the story of Ben and Jerry's and how they got started, they weren't just against the Vietnam War, but they were part of the mass protesting. They were part of all of this nonsense. He was a draft dodger. He openly says it. All of those things. So I was never a Ben and Jerry's person anyway. And then you started seeing where he started coming out with all these flavors to try and make himself relevant and like try to have fun little names in them and stuff. And so now, because he spoke out against the Ukraine war and the Russia war and all that kind of stuff, now people are going, oh, we need to protest Ben and Jerry's. You should have been protesting Ben and Jerry's a long time ago. There's some angry old men. All they are is Bernie Sanders with an ice cream shop. Okay, that's all they are. And now the funny part is Ben and Jerry's is now going, oh, they're not actually part of us anymore. Like, they're just the creators. Like, don't Don't protest, don't boycott us because of some crazy old man who we love. And their business model at the beginning was actually not terrible. Like they believed in giving back to their communities, but they used these awful words a long time ago, like social justice and things of that nature. And so one of the things that they did at the beginning, and I think that this is a great concept, and I have no problem with some of their business practices. And for instance, they believed in a 1 to 5 ratio. So like the CEO, Ben, I think is who it was, he did not make more than 5 times what the lowest paid employee was. I think that was the number that I read this morning. And so the problem with that though is that when it was time for him to retire, they couldn't find anybody to come in that agreed with that ethos. And they believed in giving back to their communities. These are all good things. These are all things that good business owners should be doing, is giving back to their community. So I really, on that aspect, I applauded them. But the reality is that everything that they stood for was absolutely awful. A lot of their flavors were very to promote the time frame of anti troops. They're very anti war. Which, look, everyone wants peace. I'm not going to pretend like, I mean, who wants war, right? But they were very much of the Goldie Hawn mindset and stuff. So they were against our soldiers also. And so they tried to walk that back some, then they tried to come back and forth. And so it was this huge teetering game. People should have been boycotting Ben and Jerry's a very long time ago. If you want to eat good ice cream without a freaking politically driven message, just freaking go get some Bluebell or some Tillamook. Actually, honestly, my favorite right now, hate me or not, HEB's Creamery. Best ice cream on the planet right now, as far as I'm concerned. And then I found some numbers this morning. This is from End Wokeness. They said The Sound of Freedom just hit $100 million at the box office. Try That in a Small Town is now the #1 song on iTunes. Disney lost $900 million plus on their last 8 releases, and Disney World is empty. Bud Light and Target lost billions of dollars over anti-woke boycotts. The silent majority is real. And if you scroll through Facebook, you're going to start seeing, I've been seeing it. It's like exploding in my personal feed. Not even the Texas Fully Loaded, feed, not the Sandra for Texas feed. The Sandra Witten feed is just full of all of this anti-wokeness message that's saying, hey, we're done with the nonsense. We want more. And it's finally working. Why? Because people are finally sick and tired of being sick and tired. Before, it was just a bunch of self-righteousness, in my opinion, that was trying to do it. And it would last for a week, and then they'd stop it. They'd go right back into doing it. To whatever it was that they shopping at Target again, or we don't eat McDonald's at all, for multiple reasons. But some of it is their views on some things. When we want to get serious about a boycott, and it's not getting serious about the boycott itself, about the company itself. It's about sending a message. Like that's what we're supposed to be doing, right? We say it all the time. If the free market industry is supposed to truly work, if we truly believe in capitalism, which all of these businesses clearly believe in capitalism, then it sorts itself out. I was at a restaurant last night, and I was by myself, and I used to be a server, so I don't like to take up a table if it's just going to be me by myself. So I went in and I sat down at the bar, and there was a group that was there, and we all started talking or whatever, and they had Yingling on tap. Well, Simon taught us all that Yingling actually helps support President Trump. Funny enough, this whole group of bikers were huge Trump fans. How crazy is that? They're doing all sorts of giveaways for their community and stuff. In fact, they're fixing on August 5th here in Del Rio. They're going to be doing a book bag and school supply giveaway and everything. I met them. I think we're going to partner up with them on some of that stuff because this is exciting stuff. Like this big band, group of tough looking bikers. They're all for President Trump. And not one of them, because I said, man, don't, because of course before we had the conversation, and we're talking and we're all laughing and whatever, and I said, man, don't tell me you guys are over here drinking Bud Light. They're like, no, what do we look like? No, why would you even say that? And that's how the conversation started, right? It was all funny. They're like, man, we don't drink that nonsense. Then I told them about Yingling, and they're like, it's not really our favorite flavor, but hey, if they supported President Trump, I'll try one. The power of a conversation. The power of Americans. Why do I look like I'm sideways? Sorry, y'all. The power of conversations. I'm gonna have to fix this up in a minute. The power of having real conversations with people and that you share values with. I would have never. That's not true. That's not true. I know too many bikers to make an arrogant statement, but there's two. Let's not get carried away, Simon. Let's not get carried away. And I told him, I said, look, I'm not an anti-Trump person, but I'm not supporting Trump for the primaries this go around. I said I'm looking at I'm looking at DeSantis and Ramaswamy, and he just kind of looked at me and he goes, well, honestly, they're both really good candidates, but they don't stand a chance. And I was like, I refuse that propaganda because I don't believe in. Don't tell somebody they don't have a right to run because somebody else has a better chance. If that's the case, then nobody should be running against Tony Gonzalez. Nobody should be running against anybody. Dan Crenshaw. Nobody should be running against Ted Cruz. Nobody should be running against all these people. You know why? Because, well, I mean, they don't have a chance. That's not the way this is supposed to work. We're supposed to be a people of free thinking. We're supposed to be a free society. We're supposed to be able to encourage others to run. Because the cool thing, and this is what I tell people, if we're truly electing the correct person, okay, and they hear something in a debate, if they actually showed up to one, but if they actually showed up to the debates, if they actually listened to what their opponent was saying so that they could give a good counter argument or not, and then go, even if they don't say it out loud, that actually didn't sound half bad. And then they take that stuff and they implement it if they win. Is it about a position or is it about the people? I don't know. I don't think that most people who are running for office know. I know what they tell you. They tell you, oh, it's for the people. Sorry, that's what they told me to say. I apologize. I just wanted to get a cool office in Washington, D.C. and use those big scissors to cut things. We have to make sure that we're doing our part. The boycotts are fantastic. I think they are sending a message. Clearly, they're sending a message. I would have never looked up a music. I'm not 16 anymore. I don't watch music videos anymore. No idea. I say that kind of tongue in cheek because Walter loves music videos. He watches them all. He grew up on MTV. I grew up on MTV too, but then MTV left us. What are you gonna do, MTV? What are you gonna do? Simon, you sent us a new TFL movie flyer. I didn't know we had a movie flyer. I haven't gotten it yet though. Oh wait, I lied. Here it is. Let's see. Shattered illusions. That's funny stuff. Y'all need to do that bigger. There you go. Hide. A film by Texas Level and Shattered illusions. That's funny. That is funny. You know what? I feel like we could really do something with that. The number of people that have reached out to us over that has been hysterical. And they're all just in stitches laughing. Because these are all people who remember a time when we were allowed to laugh. Hey, Johnny boy. When we were allowed to laugh, when we were allowed to make fun of stereotypes and things like that. Because we're not attacking an individual, we're attacking a situation, right? And people got so freaking better. I keep seeing one of hold on. There was another picture on the Facebooking I saw this morning. Let me see if I can pull it up really fast. But it's a friend of ours, a friend of mine anyway. He put, man, if you guys are offended by Jason Aldean, let me introduce you to Insane Clown Posse. Could you imagine? I see Pete. What? Tony Bennett passed away? Why did you just save that for him? I feel like that's something we all should have known. No way. No kidding. That just happened this morning. I'm not going to start crying. I'm not going to start crying. I got to call my dad. Hold on. All right. I'll call dad after the show. Oh, that's awful. I love Tony Bennett. If you did not have at least one Tony Bennett CD in your CD collection, just go away. Just go away. Oh my gosh. And you know what? Coincidentally enough, we're going to have a Broadway star on our show today, a former Broadway star. Because you and John have a music lover bromance. That's fine. Because you don't know Insane Clown Posse, Simon. Or John. Okay, that's fair. It's not like it was all of a sudden, but he's like one of those people that you just never thought would ever die. And I don't mean that in a negative, because like there's some negative people like Bernie Sanders that you just don't think they're ever going to die. And I'm not trying to be mean about Bernie Sanders, but like this is like really, he's been around for forever. He looks like he's been 96 for the last 30 years. But Tony Bennett was this is a Texas fully loaded fact. Fact checkers, fight us on this. He was in fact Thomas Jefferson's favorite singer too. Oh, we might have to Tony Bennett playing in the background now. I'll just, you know what? I won't put on another music video because Miss Patty got all upset, but she needed to see the video so she knew what people were talking about. Nobody looks up videos anymore. Unless there's controversy surrounding it. Hold on a second here. Tony Bennett. I was going to say, did you say what he died from? But, you know, like you mentioned, he was 96, so there's that. Let's see here. A little Tony Bennett in the background here. I might cry. I'm not to right now. Okay. Okay, maybe we can't play a little Tony Bennett in the background. I might actually start crying. I'm going to cry all the way to the next meeting with Tony Bennett playing in the background. I hope you're happy, Neil Simon. He's going to be missed. You know what? I think that a lot of people don't realize how dynamic Tony Bennett truly was if they really ever paid attention to it. There's always been specials and things like that, but there was a reason. Like he was one of a kind. He was one of a kind. And I think the music world just suffered. I think the whole world, not just the music world, the whole world suffered a big blow today. Growing up, yeah, believe it or not, growing up, my favorite stuff was always like the Rat Pack. Like I had several Rat Pack CDs. I have, yeah, I said CDs. I may even still have in my CD block book. You know what I'm talking about? Rat Pack Christmas special that had a whole bunch of Tony Bennett and Frank Sinatra and oh man, what some people don't know is that shut up, John, before you even start laughing. Before you even start laughing, I already know what you're going to say. Once upon a time, I was actually I was in vocal training, and I was good. It was not the national anthem. I was actually really good, and I wanted to be a jazz singer because I mean I loved them all so much. Yeah, I knew you were gonna. I want to say that you're laughing at Jack saying that he still has 8 tracks, but I know better. I know the truth behind that. Very rude. I saw my mother's ridiculousness and I rolled my eyes and I kept scrolling. I didn't I didn't even finish reading it. Simon, what you may or may not remember, I've talked a little bit about it on the show. Ken and my mother met. Well, as you remember, Ken and my mother met when we were in Fairfax, Virginia, back in November, and those two had it. They had like a. It's not a bromance because my mom's not a boy and whatever, but like they just fell in love with each other. And so Ken is constantly asking me how my mother is doing, but he does it. He does it to be funny. He's like, "Your mom's the coolest. When is she going to get a whole show dedicated to her?" I did not get a refund. I actually had to pay them off. I had to do tons of filing and stuff at the church to be able to get them done. Done with you people. We are excited. I think actually we may have to do a commercial break and like sooner than later. Let me look at this super fast because I know we've got okay, so we'll wait in about a few more minutes. So our James Beeker is going to be on, so make sure you get your friends. He's the J6er who was a Broadway star. He was actually, one of his last roles was playing Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar. He was arrested for January 6th. He was there because you know what? Conservatives are everywhere. And so he was in Washington, D.C. He got all of his charges were dropped. And he's the first J6er that's happened to. So especially a high profile one. So we're really excited that he's going to be on the show today. Of course, Miss Helena is going to be here. I believe the general's going to be joining us also. It's 11:45 Eastern time, so it'll be in just about 15 more minutes or so. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah. So make sure you tell your friends be here in like 15 minutes. I'll give you some time. I'll give you some grace to call and be texting people. Hit that little share button because you're not going to want to miss out on that because it's going to be good stuff. We've had a really good show week this week, I think. Ken, huge kudos to Ken because he got Friar Robinson on yesterday, and holy smokes, he was fantastic, wasn't he? I did not, and let me tell you why. I'm glad that you brought this up, Simon. So I don't know if you guys, you can't not have seen this on social media, where these dads are taking their daughters to go and see the Barbie movie. Now, we had a real life conversation about going to see the Barbie movie in our home because, we have a little girl who loves Barbies. So I said, here's the biggest thing though, is I don't know, I haven't seen anything truly about it. I don't know how woke it is. And I think it's going to end up being rated PG-13 because I hadn't looked into it in a little bit. And so Manny's like, you know what? I really don't know either. Let's look it up. So we're literally standing in the middle of Walmart because it's like Barbie City Mania in the Walmart. And so we looked it up, and sure enough, it was rated PG-13. And I said, oh, well, she's 4, so she's too little to go see that movie anyway. We didn't take our kids to go and see the superhero movies in movie theaters unless we had seen them first also if they were rated PG-13, especially when they were little. In fact, I don't think that we ever took the boys to go and see superhero movies inside of the theaters if they were rated PG-13. And we used to be movie junkies. I don't think that we did. So we saw it was rated PG-13, and we're like, okay, it's what it is. We're not going to go see it with Charlotte until we have an opportunity to see it. Make sure it's not woke, and to make sure it's child appropriate. But if it's rated PG-13, there's a reason, right? The superhero movies are rated PG-13 because, yes, I am in fact going to go see Shattered Illusions instead. It's the superhero movies are rated PG-13 typically just because of all of the high action and violence and all that kind of stuff, right? What you expect in a superhero movie. But with a Barbie movie being rated PG-13, a lot of sex, a lot of cussing. Why are we being rated PG-13 for a Barbie movie? Because I don't think we have to worry about huge explosions and all that kind of stuff. Now, my Barbies used to play with my brother's G.I. Joe, so we had explosions with our Barbies, so that would be a justifiable PG-13 movie. But I don't think that that's the basis of this one. Now, here's where it gets even weirder and even more gross. Now, when we were little, my best friend and I used to wait till Granddaddy fell asleep on the chair, and we would get our play makeup, and we would put makeup on Granddad while he was sleeping, and then he'd wake up and he'd be like, "Oh, you little fat rats," and we'd laugh, and he'd laugh, and then he'd go wash his face. Okay, that's as far as that went. We tried painting his fingernails once. He woke up very quickly for that one, and that was it, right? And so, never in 100 million gazillion years would I have ever thought of asking my grandfather to put on a pink tutu and put on a pink purse and all of this other bull snockies that these men are doing for their daughters to go see this movie. And I can promise you, as sure as I'm sitting here, maybe we'll wear a pink shirt, but even that says Barbie, Daddy and me, Jade, or whatever. Why? Because that's his little girl. He's a girl dad. It's fine. Maybe we'll not put on a pink tutu to go to a movie with a 4-year-old that's rated for teenagers. At least Barbie is a woman. We do have that going on. I have not seen any true reviews of the movie. I don't know anything about it other than what I've seen in previews. I don't know if it's woke. I don't know if they're. I don't know any of those things. But the fact still remains that there are all these men. Let me see if I can. I think I can probably pull it up really easy because I was not able to scroll through Facebook without seeing multiple things for it. And I think it's great. Look, all the women that are going to go and see this movie with their gal pals and all that kind of stuff. Fantastic. I need to show. Y'all need to see this picture. That's what I'm screaming. I mean, not my dad. I mean, he is, but not in the weird kind of fruit way. This is some weirdo crap right here. I really, I, I, I don't know what to say to that because I got no words. I've got 0 words for this. He's not alone. There are. This one was fun. Uh, y'all are. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that one was there with his little girl. I don't think that one was there. I got no words for this crap, guys. I got nothing. Oh my God. That's what I'm screaming inside. Like, what are you doing? Like, I saw this, and there's like, I must be like, I have to be seeing things. Like, this can't be real. I got nothing, y'all. I literally got nothing on this stuff. I'm sitting here trying to mind. Okay, look, I was cheating on my diet today. I have an oatmeal. See, it's not a cheat because it's an oatmeal raisin cookie, and it's just like eating a bowl of oatmeal as far as I'm concerned with an egg on top. Um, I couldn't even eat that. I was like, I haven't been able to drink my coffee hardly. That is an image that will haunt you. Okay? Oh, nope, nope. We're gonna. For all we know, maybe that's the real reason. If any of you guys have seen this movie or gals have seen this movie, and tell me that I'm just maybe I'm overreacting here. Maybe this is, you know what? Maybe John and Walter should go see the Barbie movie. Well, the 3 of us will go. I'll wear something pink and girly, and the guys can wear something pink and girly also, and then we'll see how. What do you think, John? Walter's not here. We can outnumber him. Well, there we go. I guess it's not going to happen, y'all, because I can almost guarantee that's probably going to be Walter's response also. So I tried, America. Yeah. Yes. That is exactly what most people think when they see Walter. Is he is a little white and loafers, that one. Uh, we're gonna take a commercial break. When we come back, Miss Elena, I don't even smoke anymore, and I feel like I need a cigarette break for that one. Um, uh, we're going to take our commercial break. Miss Helena has been just as gobsmacked as the rest of us in the background here. So when we get back, she's going to join us, and then our J6 guest James Beeker will be with us also. So y'all go try and wash that image out of your head, invite some friends, and we'll be right back, y'all. We are back with a huge thank you to our super duper pooper amazing sponsors. Of course, the Montgomery County Tea Party. Don't forget the first and the third Monday of every month be at Citizens Grill in Conroe, Texas. Our meeting starts at 6:30, so get there early so you can get something yummy to eat. Also, don't forget about the Vietnam Veterans of America. Their service and sacrifice went far beyond the distant shore. They still continue to serve their communities and their fellow veterans. So look them up, vba.org. Find a branch that's near you or a chapter that's near you, and bring them some yummy cookies or some sodas or chips or something for their next meeting. See how you can get involved because they constantly are giving back to their communities. The Baytown chapter is actually hosting the state convention, I believe, in October. So those dates and more are going to be coming. So just hold on to the edge of your seat. It's coming, my friend. And then if you're sick and tired of the big box shopping like I know that we are, consider mammoth.nation.com/# we the people work. I showed you my horror story from being ridiculous and shopping in the middle of the night and not doing it on Mammoth Nation, and now I'm fighting with the Chinese. I want my $67 back, 10% my foot. Anyway, I'm not going there again. I'm not going there again. So make sure that you do that. And you know what? If you to be extra certain that you don't have to worry about shopping online and it coming from China, go to TexasFullyLoaded.com and click on support, friends and support, because that's where we're going to have all of the information, like our brand, or oh excuse me, oh that really hurt. Our brand new shop here, right here. You see it? This is it. Oh wait, just kidding. But that's there. There's cups and everything else. All of this was made in Texas by a veteran, my very own daddy. So you guys better chop, get on there and chop. That way you can continue to support our show. And if you want to support our show directly, you can still go to just TexasFullyLoaded.com and click on # we the people work. We appreciate your support because we need you. We can't do this without you, like literally. So come on, hook a sister up. All right, Miss Helena, you ready? Miss Helena,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you? What's going on down there in Texas?
I'm trying not to lose my cookies, literally, over all that Barbie nonsense with the men dressing up as Barbies.
Ugh. It's very disturbing. This trans crazy gay stuff, this woke agenda, this indoctrination of our children. I mean, it just it's I don't know. People, homeschool your kids if you have the ability to do so, or network in your community, because they're really trying to mold our children's minds, and it's all part of Agenda 2130 and depopulation. If you're trans, you won't mutilate your body, and then you won't be able to have children because they put you on all these medications. Hormone blockers, testosterone. I mean, they're just so evil what is going on. It's really disturbing to me. I have a hard time talking about this. This is a tough subject for me because, it's the children, man. Leave the damn kids alone. I almost dropped an F-bomb. I'm sorry. It almost came out of my mouth. It almost happened.
I don't think Joanna knows those words.
I apologize. But it's about to roll off my tongue.
I think the sickest part of this, with this Barbie movie thing, for the dads dressing up like Barbies, to go, dads, dress up like Ken and take your daughter out like Ken and Barbie. Look, little girls look to their dads to see how a woman is supposed to be treated by a man. And a man is not supposed to dress up in a dress to take their daughter or to take a girl out. That's disgusting. It's disturbing, and it's not okay.
It is worse than what you even just described. Hang on one second. Seems like we're having some technical difficulties. James, who I am very happy to be able to bring on the show today, has not received your email for the link, so I'm going to go ahead and send it to him.
Okay, yeah.
So we can get him on here, and you have an opportunity to meet my friend.
Did he check the junk mail?
I just sent him my link email. We'll get him on here in just a second. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, what a mess. We got so many things that we have to, focus on and fix. And I'm kind of wondering, like, what's going on there in the background. Are you delivering those buoys today, or is that just your background pick? You've got a busy day ahead of you, friend.
Well, it was supposed to be driving. I didn't say where or what. No, this is from 2 weeks ago. I was actually in Del Rio. I was seeing where they were putting them together and putting them up and all that kind of stuff. And it's pretty comical, the number of people who are believing the propaganda pictures If you go and you look up right now, aerial view of Eagle Pass floating barrier, it will show you everything except for that.
Wow.
So it's only 1,000 feet of these buoys that are actually physically in the water, and it's in one of the highest trafficked areas in Eagle Pass, and it's making a huge difference. And people, you would think that they have put them from sea to shining sea. It's absolutely ridiculous.
All I heard was something about a story of a illegal immigrant who crossed over the water and was most likely, trafficked here by the cartel, got caught in some sort of razor wire, and apparently it caused her to have a miscarriage. And all I could think to myself was, why would you put yourself and your child, your unborn child's life in such a perilous situation by crossing like that, and then thinking that you could get through some razor wire? And now, of course, that's all that they want to talk about. They don't want to talk about all the other issues about, this mass migration into the country. It's just one situation of a person who decided to take this perilous journey, and now, she's lost her child. Everything is so heartbreaking down there. I just did I get the story right? That's
No,
what I heard.
that's exactly what happened. But I mean, without trying to sound careless, these are the perils of doing this journey. It could have been 900 million things that could have gone wrong. In fact, I didn't even talk about it, but yesterday when I was driving in, just as I looked up in my, I don't know why, but you know how like you just kind of, glance up in your rearview mirror when you're driving. I looked up just as 6 people went running across in a high trafficking area. And I was like, ah! And I was like, should I turn around? And then I was like, wait, what am I going to do? Like, by the time I get turned around, they're long gone into the next brush. And so you keep seeing all these, these are the hazards, right? And at some point, there's a level of humanitarianism, but then there's also a level of common sense that you expect to be had. There's some state troopers that are now coming out saying, "Oh, Greg Abbott and his evil border czar and their harsh treatment of these people. We're not even allowed to give them water anymore. We could lose our jobs." First of all, that's never been said. And second of all, this is just it's nonsense. When is enough enough? Like we have a line. When we say do not come into Texas, we mean don't come into Texas. Like at some point, you have to allow the problem to sort itself out. And all these leftists believe in Darwinism. Isn't that survival of the fittest? Does that mean? Am I wrong for saying that? Oh, you muted yourself.
I did. I don't. My computer's acting crazy today. I don't know. I have a feeling it's the people in the back of the room that are constantly listening and that are doing weird stuff to me. But that's a whole nother conversation. I just don't understand. Like, when are they going to realize? This is something that I think about, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't feel like I'm wrong. But we have all these open borders, and we've got fighting age men that we see that are marching from all of these countries. And there's a big story about how there's, I think it was like several thousand Chinese, and I'm just wondering, they're strategically placing them all over the country, and it just gives me pause to think that they're preparing for something, right? Like, what are they preparing for with these open borders? Are we going to have the blue helmets on our soil sometime soon when they try to initiate another pandemic, scamdemic, and they try to lock this country down because they don't want us to be able to vote? That's a conversation that nobody has really had yet. But I'm always wondering, like, is this really the end game here? Like, are they, what are they doing? What are they doing? Am I wrong for thinking that? Like, I don't know. We got so many problems.
I don't think that you are. I think that the thing is that more people need to be thinking like that. And does it make us sound crazy? That's fine. I've been called worse by bigger people. So I'm really not worried about it.
Okay, call me crazy. I got a big tinfoil hat on, It's very large.
So many people thought that we were crazy when we said, hey, don't give in to this vaccine mandate stuff. Hey, don't give in to this lockdown stuff. And now they're coming back and they're either saying we never did that, or may have gone a little too far. We're not going to say that we went too far, but we're going to overcompensate to prove that we went too far. And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought we were crazy. And every once in a while, I know you've seen the meme before also, and you'll see the meme that says, those of us who who came through this without getting the jab, we're a different breed. We resisted every single lie that they threw at us, and here we are. And there's some truth to that statement.
Yeah.
There's some real truth to that. I think that people don't realize what they got sold, all in the name of public health and freedom. Remember, you're going to be freer if you get this jab, and you're going to be freer if you get the vaccine passport. There's this is one of all of our favorite conversations. You're going to be freer because you're helping out your fellow man by getting this. I help out my fellow man by carrying my gun too. Oh, she went there. Hey, General.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on?
Exactly. Hi, General. What's going on?
Hey, quick question. Side note, General. You weren't here for a second. We were talking about the new Barbie movie that's coming out, and I know that you don't have any daughters, but apparently the new trend is that you're supposed to go and watch this movie, even as a man, dressed in all pink, wearing a tutu. So I was just curious. John has already said that we can't do that for him and Walter for TFL, so I tried. But since you're the only other consistent man on this show, I figured we'd throw you in there and see if we can sway the tide there.
Well, I don't know anybody that's gonna be wearing pink. That's a dude that I know. So whoever's trying to create that trend, good for them. Enjoy it. Live your life how you want, but not going to be seeing me wear pink anything to that. I'm not even going to see the movie.
Come on, General. I would love to see you in a pink tutu. Never mind. I'm just kidding.
And the pink tacos, yes. A restaurant people pass is making pink barbacoa tacos.
Since Elena wants me to,
oh, good. Yay.
Yeah, no,
you're a true influencer, Helena.
For that. What's that?
You're a true influencer, Helena.
Listen, I do have a little influence over the General, just because nobody else does. Don't think for a second. I can't convince him to do certain things.
It could be a fun fundraiser.
That's what I was just thinking. How can we turn this into a fundraiser? Who wants to see the General?
That used to be a thing.
Right?
Yeah, the whole Barbie thing. I guess it's the way of the trends and the stuff like that. I don't know. It's society's changed a whole lot. It's turned into father, turn your daughter into a little princess that's not capable of doing anything anymore, except for looking pretty and going, doing whatever it is. It's no longer let's teach them how to skin a buck or go hunting or survive or anything like that. It's really turned into some kind of interesting thing. I met a lot of old country boys and rednecks in my life, and all their daughters they don't play with Barbies. They play with rifles and know how to hunt, and they know how to trap, and they know how to fish, and that's the way that dads really need to try to get back to with that. I mean, that's just my opinion. But hey, for the dads that want to dress up in pink and do all that stuff, and it's good for them, man.
There's a fine line, and I think that's where, like, I had Barbies. I never played with them, but I had Barbies. But I also went fishing and got dirty and knew how to use a gun and all those kinds of things. So we want girls to still have their feminine characteristics, but we also want to make sure that we're not some damsel in distress either. So absolutely, damsels in distress create a mentality and an opportunity for people to take advantage of them.
Yeah, the dads that are dressing up in pink and stuff like that and doing all that for their daughters, they're probably the men that don't even know how to change a tire.
Yeah. No, the pink tutus and the one guy that we were putting some pictures up just a little bit ago. I exit out, or I'd pull one up for you again. The guy was in the pink cowboy hat and he had a pink blazer and pink shorts and pink boots and a pink purse on, and we were just like, I got no words. I got nothing. And like I said, if you want to take your daughter to see this movie, don't dress up like Ken.
Yeah.
Take your daughter out on a date and teach her how a man should treat her on a date. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I've yet to see Barbie with a rifle, a hunting rifle. I've yet to see Barbie, like with her change of tire, like stuff like with her little Barbie Corvette. I mean, it's I've yet to see any of the real life stuff. You know what I mean? How about Barbie with the packing a concealed handgun so that she's not getting attacked. I've yet to see a Barbie like that yet, really.
Well, I had made the statement earlier. I said that we had Barbies. I had Barbies, and my brother had GI Joes. So Barbie never dated Ken in my world. She was always with GI Joe. So yeah, there were explosions when I played with Barbies. But that was not the norm. Hashtag not the norm. Simon grew up poor, though. He said he didn't have any action figures or dolls. He had a transgender stick, and it could be a GI Joe or a Barbie, depending on who had it. It could also be a gun.
Oh my gosh.
But also, that's what I'm screaming.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Kids get in trouble all the time because this is what kids do. James, I see you in the background, so when you're ready, just give me a thumbs up. We'll pull you right on.
Oh, good. James Beeks is joining us, and he's
on the phone right this second. So when he's done, he'll give me a thumbs up.
Okay, good.
But anyway, yeah. So people just, I say it all the time. Let them be little. Let kids be little. Just let them be little. We don't need to force anything on them. And I mean, in my opinion, you have no business taking a 4-year-old to a PG-13 movie anyway. Hashtag transgender thing.
Well, been a lot happened this week, man. Barbie stuff is
so much happened this week.
I just realized that the Barbie movie was even coming out. My wife told me yesterday, that some of the moms.
I think yesterday's when it premiered.
Yeah. But the other stuff is the massive downfall of this Biden regime. I mean, it's just coming down, man. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Going down for real. Okay, sorry.
I mean, you look at these whistleblowers. They even tried to charge one of the whistleblowers with charges. Like they indicted him for coming forward and speaking up about all the IRS inconsistencies. So it's kind of interesting to watch this government play out because they always attempt to attack the people that are actually exposing the stuff that they're doing now. So it's the epitome of totalitarianism now. We're moving into total authoritarian type mentality. These people.
Someone said Bruce Jenner changed his transmission. Because John asked him about his transgender stick. Oh gosh, I think James didn't realize what he was getting into, so now he laughed. He's like, wait a second.
James is probably thinking, what did I get myself into this morning? I forgot to tell him it's light and airy on this show.
Yeah, I told him we were in the email. I said we're informal. I didn't say how informal. I guess that's to put that out there a little bit more. So we're waiting for James to come back on. Tell us what happened with Rachel really quick. We saw that her sentencing came out today. I mean, not today, earlier this week.
Yeah, so she was found guilty on all charges. She has 9 charges against her. Judge Lambreth found her guilty on all charges. So She has that 1512 charge as well. And she's, potentially looking at a lot of time. I sadly was not able to get up there because, I have been falling a little bit short lately looking at the docket to see what's going on because we've been working on all of these fundraising campaigns and standing in the gap and the Real Jan 6 and lots of planning that's been going into all of this. But she came in with her family and her children, and the press wanted to make a big deal about her son wearing a MAGA hat in the courtroom. I'm actually surprised they let the kid in with that, but I'm pretty sure that that's probably going to be used against her, when she actually comes back in September for sentencing. She'll be back in 6 weeks, but she's been on home confinement now for more than 2 years. I mean, she's got such a horrific story about her circumstances and her situation. She was home confinement, not able to cook for her family because the ankle monitor that she had on did not reach the kitchen because the kitchen was super far away in the house. She cannot go outside to play with her children. She can't even walk on her front porch. She can't take her garbage out. She can't check the mail. She's not been able to take her children to doctor's appointments when they've been sick. She's had to rely on friends and family and acquaintances to help her. And now she's going to have to plan for somebody else to be taking care of her 4 children because she has absolutely no idea what sentence that she's going to be looking at. And it's kind of scary because now that Stuart Rhodes has been sentenced, I'm not sure if you saw that, Sandra, but they want to add more time to Stuart Rhodes's sentence. The DOJ is looking at adding more time, and they're probably going to be granted that motion with with what's going on in DC at this kangaroo court. It's just like they're making up these rules as they go. There is no rhyme or reason to any of this, but then it gives me pause because the Proud Boys have not been sentenced yet, and they won't make that mistake with the Proud Boys to have to go back to add more time. I mean, they're looking at anywhere between 20 and 27 years. And this is just getting to the level of beyond super scary that this is what, these Jan 6ers are going through. I mean, I don't understand why there's not more people in this fight because we see what they're doing with censorship. I mean, what is it going to be? Something that you said on social media that they're going to come for you? We were at the weaponization committee hearing yesterday. We couldn't get in because the line was so long when RFK Jr. was testifying, but we were there and we were talking to congressmen. And we went to their offices to visit with them to, just open up the conversation because we're still trying to get in front of, what's going on to have conversations with them about the Jan 6ers. But there's so much that needs to be addressed and attended to. It's like almost like your head spins and you don't even know what direction to go. There's just so many things that are happening to these Jan 6ers, and who's going to put the brakes on? Like, who's literally going to come hit the stop button? Because there is so much truth that's coming out now. And we've seen how this government has been weaponized against everybody. And now they've come for Trump. Actually, after we went to the Capitol, we walked over to the courthouse because the grand jury had a hearing yesterday for Trump to indict him and charge him with that 1512 charge. And it was a closed hearing, so we couldn't get in. So we sat outside and we were just talking to the press corps. And, you kind of want to get a temperature as to like how people are feeling and stuff. I mean, I'm all about going out in the streets and having conversations with people. And a lot of the people that were standing there that were waiting for, some sort of information to come out after that grand jury hearing, they were all just kind of shaking their heads going, we kind of can't believe what's happening here. And it's even the left-wing media that's kind of shaking their heads too. So I think a lot of people are waking up. I just don't know to what level. Like, are they going to get to the level that us 3 are at? I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, they could never be this enlightened.
You have a good point there.
that's a valid, and I think it's something that we've talked about quite a bit. And we've got James. Well, he disappeared again. His box is there, but I don't see him yet. But we're seeing where things were starting to get a little bit like, oh, we might have a silver lining for some of these cases, and then with others now, I think with some of the stuff with Rachel's, hers was a little bit more extreme than some of the other cases. If you guys remember, I didn't realize that she had actually helped break a window, and so I said, "It's not like you're out there breaking windows." And she's like, "Well, she was awkward." You know what I mean? So there is each case is different, but in the same breath, I think that there's a bit of an extremism that's going on that even the left is going. That might have been too far. They may have gone too far on that one.
Right.
When the left is saying
he deserve 20 years for breaking a window? I mean, that's just
exactly. Well, and the Jason Aldean song, I think. James, are you ready? Maybe.
Come on.
Maybe. Can you hear me? Are you ready? Okay. I think so. Hello?
James Beeks. We can hear you. Well,
sorry. Can you hear me?
Sort of. You sound a little distant.
Yeah, it's.
Trying to get this Bluetooth.
Testing
we're
1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Hi, James.
Hi.
We're not high tech on this show, so we're used to this.
I forgot to tell you how fun and light it is on Texas Fully
I think
Loaded.
he's having a hard time hearing.
Oh, shit.
Can you hear us okay, James?
It's hard for me to hear too. But talk amongst yourselves.
Do a little sound check. Yeah. It's if you can hear us good, then that's good. Your audio is just a little bit off.
I'm gonna go off real quick.
Oh,
Okay.
Hey, we heard him for a second.
He's gonna see if he can fix his equipment and come on right back. That's cool.
It'll be easier if we can go up there so that we can hear him and he can hear us better. So
they really flipped out about that song, didn't they?
Woo, they sure did. We actually opened the show up today with that video. And I said, when you listen to the song, I mean, it's a good song and it sounds like a country song to me. But if you actually go back and just watch the video, and one of the things, I don't know if I said it out loud, but they're talking about how this is a lynching video. And so that's why CMT pulled it. And I laughed because how it was so anti-BLM and this. If you actually watch the video, most of the rioters, if not all of the rioters that he had shown in that video,
They were white.
They were white. So I'm not really sure if that makes it a lynching video. I don't know what to say.
I mean, it's a reality. It's they don't want to live in it. They want to live in the racist, homophobic, bigot, whatever they want to call, whatever ridiculous names that they want to call. I mean, when you hear somebody like spouting out that kind of crap, they're specifically identifying themselves as the enemy of America, basically. I mean, that's who you're talking to. When you're talking to somebody, and basically, if you don't think exactly the way they do, and if you don't, agree with everything that they agree with, then you instantly become, all these horrible things that if you were called 50 years ago, if you called somebody these names, you might get your nose broke, pretty quickly. Yep. They're real comfortable now. There's a lot of protections and a lot of things that have been established, to make sure that they're safe and that they don't get attacked. And, on social media, if you clap back at these people on there, and they can call you all these names, they can attack you in any kind of way they want to. And if you clap back, your account's suspended. I mean, it's the game that they play. They know that. It's, you know, so there's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of manipulation out there that protects these creeps.
Yep. No, there's sure. I had to laugh. There's been a bunch of memes that go around about this stuff, and one of them, this one's a classic. Let's see if you guys recognize this guy at all. If you're offended by Jason Aldean, allow me to introduce you to David Allen Coe. These people would lose their minds.
Well,
and I think that's, you know, I think that they say that video, what was the old song back in the early 90s, late 80s? Video killed the radio star. Oh man, wokeism killed all of the stars. Because
yeah,
Johnny Cash, you knew exactly what he stood for.
Yeah.
Hank Williams Jr., you knew exactly what he stood for. Charlie Daniels knew exactly what he stood for. Like all of these strong men, you knew what they stood for. And if you didn't like it, then you just changed the channel. But guess what? People liked it because they all agreed. Everybody, you put on any of their songs and everybody can sing along. You know, it's not promoting. Oh shoot, sorry, I didn't realize I was scrolling on there. It wasn't promoting violence. It wasn't promoting anything. It was promoting F around and find out.
I just don't understand why these people. I don't get why these people destroy their lives. Like, look at Garth Brooks. I mean, he was already going downhill. Like he made sure that he sunk the dagger in his and the rest of his career. I mean, you know, it's like they're lining up to salute their own deaths. I mean, they're sacrificing themselves to Moloch. I mean, that's pretty much what they're doing when they do these things. It's amazing to watch these people just self-destruct in the name of virtue signaling. It's crazy. It's just I don't get it, man. You know,
Garth Brooks kind of killed himself when he did, what was that? Remember he did that rock album and he had his alter ego. What was his name?
Yeah, I remember that weird crap. Yeah.
I think everyone was like, "Did my price this much?" And you know what? Let's go back to the 90s. Nobody really knew what happened with that one. But you're right, Simon. If you look up the BLM stuff, it's mostly middle-aged white women with these liberal arts degrees.
Yeah, liberals.
That's what it is.
You got some big balls behind you.
Well, you know, somebody needs to have some big balls. I'm not afraid to show off my balls on this show. What's funny is, so I put a picture on my personal on my personal Facebook page. I put you have to wear sunglasses because of all that white. Yeah, for the BLM marches. I put a picture of me for comparison because a lot of people were asking me questions, and a friend of mine out in he's in Washington State now, I think. Anyway, he posted one of the propaganda pictures where it was the balls all along the Rio Grande, and he goes, "Hey, I like what you've done with the place." And so I started laughing, and so I started showing the pictures that I had, and so then I finally just made one with me standing with the balls as my cover photo. And I've been really shocked by the number of people that have never commented on my political stuff on my personal page who have said, "These are amazing."
Hey,
and
Texas
I'm like,
has got the big balls.
Whoa.
We've got big balls, Texas.
And we cannot lie.
Hey, Sandra, can you resend him the link? I think maybe since I sent it, it got broken or something. He's having problems joining.
I mean, I still see him there. He just turned off his camera and his microphone. I can't undo that. But let me I'm gonna remove him from there. Yeah, all right, I just kicked him out. Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break while we try and get this sorted out, and we'll be right back, okay? Y'all don't go nowhere. You hear?
I'm going to say...
are back with a huge thank you to our amazing sponsors, the Montgomery County Tea Party. Don't forget the first and the third Monday of every month. Be at Citizens Grill in Conroe, Texas. The meeting starts at 6:30, so make sure you get there early so you can hug some necks and maybe learn something, order something to eat, talk to some new people, sit next to somebody new, and the friends that you invite, tell them about what to expect. This coming one is going to be exciting because Senator Brandon Creighton is going to be speaking as well as Representative Steve Toth. So that'll be exciting. So if you guys can be there, be there. And then the Vietnam Veterans of America, their service and sacrifice went far beyond a distant shore. They still continue to serve their fellow veterans, both from yesteryears and today. So, and their families and their communities. So if you ever get the opportunity, please make sure that you give them a hug, tell them thank you for their service, but more importantly, welcome home. Maybe bring them some cookies or something yummy to eat for their next meeting. Find out what they're doing around the community and support it, because they need you and we need them. So see how that works out. And if you're sick and tired of the big box shopping, like I know you are, don't forget about mammothnation.com/#WeThePeopleWork. Make sure that you go there. You have to use that link. That'll get you a discount on signing up for the annual fee, so it's only $25. You're helping out Texas Fully Loaded. You're getting access and exclusive discounts to American and veteran-owned businesses and products, so you don't want to miss out on that. If you didn't see what happened to me, because I was midnight shopping, not on Mammoth Nation, the story is unreal, but go check it out on yesterday's show. And also, don't forget, go to TexasFullyLoaded.com. Click on the TFL shop. You can shop there and get this awesome coffee mug. So you're like, hey, Sandra, we're having coffee together every day. And I'm like, gosh darn it, you know we are. Or find maybe one of the t-shirts. You might like one of those. So, General, what is going on, my friend? You're muted.
Unfortunately, we got some audio stuff with James. Unfortunately,
yes. Hopefully we can get it worked out. I see it. His name and square is in the background, but not his face or sound. So as soon as we get those, we'll slap them back up there. So that'll be. Emailed you a picture, Sandra. Okay.
And kind of for a little intro or a little bit of backstory on James, Broadway singer. He's was performing in the Jesus Christ Superstar. Basically all his charges were acquitted. They were dropped by Judge Mehta, which it's one of those things, one of those victories, one of those small victories for the J6 community that we kind of needed. It was a really a breath of fresh air to see that happen. We got a lot of stuff going on. Jacob Lang is taking his case to the Supreme Court, so that's reached the Supreme Court. We have a J6er that's suing CNN for $37 million. We need about 1,200 more people doing that for defamation. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. Donald Trump being indicted, for J6. I mean, that's going to, what they didn't realize is that that's going to backfire so badly. It's really bringing attention to the J6 community again. So, I appreciate them, doing that. It's he didn't deserve those charges whatsoever, but it's one of those things that these people are doing. They want to destroy this man before he can even run for office. It's the reality that we live in. We have people that are trying to take over our country, and it's sad to see what they've done to this place. They've really destroyed a lot. So James is a little beacon of light in all of this mess, and we're happy for him being acquitted. Good guy. Just upbeat. He's got a hell of a backstory, a history, life story, and was hoping to hear some of that. So hopefully we can get him up here. But he's stepped up to the plate to be that light and to give that hope to some of these J6ers. Rachel's story is horrific. It's absolutely does not deserve what she's gone through. The hell that she's lived through is beyond what the punishment should have been already. And, so there's nothing but shame on all these judges and prosecutors. And, of course we know that they're not getting fair trials in DC, so that's never going to happen.
Right. And I'm wondering, and you may know the answer to this, or we may not, nobody may know until we find out what the Supreme Court ends up doing. I would think, or I would hope to think that with this case going before the Supreme Court, that the Supreme Court can then set a ruling to walk some stuff back, and then that will help with the other. Yeah, we can hear him. Let's see if we can hear him. James. James. I feel like I'm in a seance. Can you hear us? Just kidding. If we can't make it work today, then General, make sure that James knows he's always welcome back on our show anytime. It doesn't just have to be on a Friday.
Yeah.
No, hopefully we can get it worked out. We still have about 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so we got some time. So yeah, no, I'm hoping that with some of this stuff happening, it will allow us to walk back a lot of this stuff, and maybe the courts will then be able to be like, well, the Supreme Court ruled here, so now. But it always takes the lawyers going back and saying, hey, we have a new ruling from the Supreme Court, so now you have to abide by it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at the indictment on Trump. I mean, this is. I mean, how do they think they're even going to win? Even if they won, they lost. It's kind of interesting. I mean, the indictment happened and his approval went up. I mean, so everything that they've done seems to like backfire. It's kind of, it's like, it's very telling, because I believe that the people of the United States have had enough. I think they've had enough. I think they're done with this crap. I think they're sick of hearing of this. They know what this has been. This has been a complete attack on the liberty of American citizens. And, this now they're showing their true colors by trying to cancel him before he can run against. And what the reason is because they watched this buffoon, in chief, and he's walking around crapping his pants, falling downstairs. Just can't find his way off the stage, saying ridiculous.
James, you have your microphone muted. I don't know if that's on purpose or not.
Yeah, James, unmute your mic. What's up, brother?
We see you.
I think he's frozen.
Hashtag we the people hat. I love it.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's.
I think
no.
This connection will work. Hamana, hamana, hamana.
I think he's. I think
he's moving again. Yeah, moving. James. Oh, he's really clear too.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
We can hear you, James.
You can hear me?
Don't touch anything.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We are super excited.
Well, talk to us, man. We'll see if we can get some of your story out here in the next maybe 20 minutes.
Are you there?
The floor is yours. So tell us a little bit about who you are and your story, James, and then we'll both be quiet so you can talk.
The floor is mine.
The floor is yours. Yes, we hear him.
Go for it.
It's a really bad connection for me. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Well, I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. My very first memories are being in the foster care system. I was abandoned and abused to the point of near death from ages 1 to 5. I was forced in this one particular foster home that was pretty much detention jail, and I look back on that, and I remember when I was in my 20s, I'm in my early 50s now. No, that's hard to believe, but I started writing my memories out, and it became thoughts that were jumbled up inside my head. And I've been writing my book, and I wanted people to share my story, especially foster children who are going through similar things that I went through, or even worse. And I wanted to inspire the nation through my story. And and I got out of that situation as a vulnerable infant And my grandmother took me in at 5 years old. And even though she couldn't afford to, we were living in poverty and in the bad part of town. And but I found a voice through singing and being creative, and was fortunate to go to commercial lead. And my grandmother did the best she could, and I found the voice, my singing voice in someone else, and couldn't pinpoint it at the time, but when when I started questioning, and I started writing down these thoughts that I had in my mind, and to collect myself, because I forgot about a lot of those things, that happened to me. And it helped me to understand how I dealt with people and how to me. And what I realized is that those things happened to me, that wasn't my fault. So I had to forgive. I had tattoos of, went through as a kid. Those are my tattoos. And I wanted to share that story with, like I said, especially underprivileged children, and to help them, see, if I can do these things, you can do them too. Um, me being on Jesus Christ Superstar, I was when I was on Broadway, the things that I had at the time. But I went into Jesus Christ Superstar, and we started production in 2019. And I said to myself, every day I woke up, if um, I, I'm living in gratitude, because this could be taken from me at any point in my life. There, thinking, what can I do to
Okay.
No.
We appreciate you working with us with the FBI is always watching our show. You guys know that, and so whenever there's an effective message, they always try to take it down.
hello?
We lost
Yep, there you are,
Marcus.
James. Go ahead.
Hmm. They're jamming his signal.
There.
There he is.
Can you hear
Yep,
me?
yep. Go ahead. We lost you at Jesus Christ Superstar.
So then I went into that with ingratitude. I I finally got to the point in my life where I'm every day I wake up, I live in gratitude, because you know I was living my dream. I was in my dream role, a very amazing accomplishment, and I was at the apex of my career. And then the lockdowns happened, and we were forced to sit and watch the COVID-19 drama in early 2020, where our nation and our cities were being burnt down. And one particular incident that really affected was David Dorn. He was an ex-police officer, up early 70s, property, or somewhere in his neighborhood. So he was killed by some of the Black Lives Matter activists, or who knows who was killed by. But my I question, who does David Dorn's Black Life matter? Like I said, I was raised by my grandmother, so I have the utmost respect for elderly people. And I saw if my grandmother was in that situation, would I'd be able to be there to help. And my unofficial adopted father is ex-chief of police, and I have utmost respect for law enforcement. So I said to myself, if I get an opportunity to call, I think August, their target mainly was elderly people who were by themselves, who were vulnerable. So, and I was thinking to myself, something needs to be done. Why aren't people standing up to these bullying? President Trump asked to go up to DC for January 6th. I said that's a big, great opportunity for me to go and help be security and protect people from violence. In fact, that's the only thing that they had on process was when I was there, somebody asked me, why are you here? And I said, I'm here to protect everyone from violence. That showed clear intent. And I signed a public website. It says, we are here to defend and protect the Constitution. They are ex-police officers. And so, and also to come up and be secure. So that was my intention. That's why I signed up for the Oath Keepers. Yeah. So I went up there and met with them, and I had an alternative plan that was being alleged, but so yeah, we saw how the events unfolded after the fact. So I eventually, fired my public pretender and proceeded pria persona, which means presenting my own actions, sui juris, which means handling my own affairs. And I forced them into a bench trial, which is, I think, a better option than free trial because I don't think you can fair trial in DC. And I know they're grateful. Joe.
Yeah. Thank you, Fred. Wait, I lose emotion. Can you hear us?
There we go. Yeah, he's moving now.
All right.
Pick
So
back up where you left.
defended yourself with a bench trial. So I didn't realize that he was one of those in that white supremacy group, Oath Keepers, General.
Yeah, that's the lie. That's that's the whole thing I was talking about earlier. If you don't go by what their ideology is or whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are, what group it is, what it's made of, what they're really about. What he's basically was saying right there was that he said, "Hey, I wanted to go all this violence, and I wanted to protect innocent people, especially elderly people that were going to be there that day from being beat up and being hurt and injured." I mean, obviously, the Proud Boys is not a white supremacist group. It's not.
Right.
It's
No,
absolutely a lie.
Neither
But
of the Oath
that's what
Keepers or any of the others. Yeah.
No. We got you back, James.
Can you hear me? I'm back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, we said yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about this. My connection, I think, is really bad. I don't know why. Maybe it's my computer bandwidth, but yeah, thank you, General, for that. That was a good synopsis.
Yeah, we're getting breaking in, kind of broken, but I understood what you said, and I kind of know some of your story too. But that's the whole aspect of this, is that they're trying to make it look like people that were there to protect Americans and like people from bad stuff. They're trying to act like they were.
I don't know if we're frozen or if we are.
We're hearing you. Now, James, we did get a question, and they asked. This is somebody it's Alan Jackson on YouTube. They're asking, was your status sui juris in the personam before the court in DC? And I probably butchered that. I apologize. If you can hear
us. What was your status sui juris in personam bati? Yes. Yes.
Hey, James, I don't know if it would be easier
The answer
for
to the
you
question is yes.
Okay. James, would it be easy? Do you have could we text you the link and then us get you on that way? Maybe your cell phone service might be better that way instead of doing it on the computer. Sometimes it makes me do that. It's stupid on my own show.
I think you froze up again.
I see him moving a little bit.
Okay, now you're unfrozen.
He went full speed ahead. But I think that there's a lot that can be learned from some of these.
I know that there's probably one aspect I did hear James talk about before on the actual other show that he was on recently. And it was the fact that, he lost his job. He lost they took they basically essentially took his dream away from him. And this is one of those things that he will not be able to get back. I mean, this is something that was taken from him. It was, wrongfully taken. It was like many of the J6ers, their lives have been, affected by this in many ways, but that was his time. And I think we got you back, James. Can you hear?
I'm hearing only every other word.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, James, we would love to have you back on the show anytime, even if it's not on a Friday, so that we can get your full story, because everyone's saying, hey, we want to hear more. We want to hear his story. So we can definitely schedule that. That way it's not getting broken up, because just the glimpses of his story that we're getting have been fantastic.
Yeah.
And we've only got about 9 more minutes left or so. So we don't want to shortchange his actual story.
Yeah. Well, his dream was ripped away from him. It was stolen from him by this.
Can you hear me?
And
yeah, let's do that. Yep. They took my computer, and I have this low bandwidth computer that I'm working on, and so I think.
Yeah, we'll definitely have James come back. We've got his Gibson Go link is up in our in the header for our show today, so that you guys can learn more about him and see how you can help him out in any way. You guys know that we always like to try and give back, so that we can help these guys out. It's not just, we don't just want a story. We want to be able to be hands and feet, where we the people work for a reason, because we can't work without each other. And so I want you guys to see this really quick here. Trying to put his page up here. It's on our link for the show, but here's his Gibson Go page. Guys, look at this. He needs some help, y'all. We need to help James out. So if you guys can make sure that you click on his site here. And General, I didn't. Helena didn't send one, but does he have a website also, or does he just have the Oops. Or does he just have his
far as I know, the gifts didn't go. You know, the one thing to take from this too, I know he's going to want to tell the rest of the story, and we'll get into that too. But you know, he's you know, this process took his dream away from him, took his paycheck, and basically ended up making him homeless. Okay, so he's you know, through the gracious friends and people that have stepped up to assist him, he's been able to have a roof over his head. But you know, this has destroyed his life as well. Even though he was acquitted and everything is done, he's starting from square one now. I mean, this is, regardless of if you're found guilty or not guilty, your life is destroyed in this process. So that's the big thing to take away. Yeah, but James, he definitely needs any kind of assistance he can get, and hopefully, he can get back into doing his dream of singing and acting and stuff like that. Hopefully, he'll be able to get back into that. Maybe we'll have some patriots out there, some people along the way that'll hear his story and try to get him back to where he's supposed to be.
Right. No, absolutely. Because I think that one of the, especially being in an industry like James was in, there ain't no business like show business for a reason. It's not an easy business to get into. It's not an easy, nut to crack at all. And so the fact that he got all the way to his dream and was like, you know what, I want to be able to help others. I want to be able to do more. And he went to Washington, D.C. to do just that, just to have his dreams ripped away from him. Unjustly so. And we see it time and time again. There's other J6ers, regardless of what their dream was, whether it's been a business that they've created or multiple businesses that they've created, they've all been just shattered just on allegations that they have federal charges lined up against them. Whether they get thrown out, whether they end up writing them off, or making a plea deal, whatever the case may be, lives are completely being destroyed, and the federal government just evilly laughs every single time it happens. General?
What?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. We had a little bleep moment there.
The FBI is not having our show today. So take that, FBI. They haven't figured out where I am yet. That's what they're freaking out. They're just like, we're going to interrupt the whole show. We don't know where she is. We can't go after just her. We're taking them all down.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to watch these people, these leftists and these deep state people, man. They just keep on doubling, tripling, quadrupling down while we watch our Republicans basically sit there with their thumb up their butts. It's I mean, it's becoming incredibly clear that we do not have the proper people to protect us from these people. It's the representatives that we have. They're not the ones for the job that we need. It's unfortunate that we have these yellow-bellied, spineless, people that are not willing to step up to the plate and do what they need to. They're willing to tweet a bunch of stuff out, willing to send a bunch of nasty letters and stuff like that, but that doesn't do anything. That doesn't accomplish anything. These people have become pretty much enemies of the country. Many of them have committed all kinds of pretty serious, heinous crimes, and it's very evident that the DOJ and many of the three-letter agencies have covered for these criminals. And, we need people that are going to hold these people accountable. And what I mean by that is defund them. I'm not saying completely defund them, but, these people need, they need to be, the money needs to be cut. They need to be, kind of put in their place in that way. And that's something that this Congress could do right now. This Congress has the perfect capability to cut those purse strings. And what do? They go off and they sign the freaking, co-bill with the leftists and give them, exactly what they want, So, it's very obvious that we don't have the people that are properly protecting us, from this stuff that's heading our way. We're looking at totalitarianism. We're looking at freedom of speech being taken away. We're talking about, the trafficking, cartels and all that groups of people. We're talking about the pedophiles that on Epstein's list that we're not allowed to see because it's probably most of the people in government. We're in a pretty rough place, and a lot of people are like, not black pilling. Reality is not black pill. You got to understand that. So, you know, we got to stand up as we the people, and the more we do that together, the better off we'll be. Get the right people in there.
Right. No, absolutely. And, you know, I think people need to pay attention with elections, with, let me rephrase that, with candidates starting to make announcements and candidates starting to get involved, uh, and people starting to kind of sort things out, be like, all right, well, let me see who I want to vote for. You know, ask the people who are running for office, hey, what do you think about the J6ers? What do you think about how they're being treated? Are you going to do something about it? Are you going to at least attempt to do something? Or are you just going to ignore them when you get up there just like everybody else does? You know, because these are important questions. Because if they're willing to ignore something that we're proving out every single day, and we're like, hey, look, we understand that you're not the judicial branch, but you do have these abilities. You know what I mean? Like, we need you to do your part for this. So it's an important question, and I think that if you've been watching Texas Fully Loaded for any amount of time, if you've been paying attention to what's going on with the J6ers, and you're not asking these questions when these people pop up and say, I'm running for Congress, then you're not paying attention to the show. This is an important question that you must ask every single person that's running for Congress. And if you get the opportunity, anybody who's running for president, you need to know what they're going to do. And there's going to be some Senate seats that are opening up. We're going to have Ted Cruz's seat is up for grabs. I mean, he's running for it again, but you know, Mr. Term Limits himself, that doesn't believe in his own term limits, he's running for Senate. So again, so ask him. We all saw. Don't just ask him. We saw what he did. We saw him completely crap all over the J6ers after everything happened. And so, you know, not that that's the only reason, but for that reason, hey, he's a liar and he's a fraud. He does what's best for him in the moment, and he doesn't care about the repercussions for people all around him. So we need a strong Republican to run against him. So, well, General, we are out of time, and the FBI is not having it anyway. So, take that, FBI boys, and we'll see you guys on Monday. I'll be coming to you from Fort Worth, so our show, I mean, it'll still be the same .com, same .channel. But once I know what my schedule looks like, you'll know where I'm coming to you from Fort Worth. So, y'all be prepared for that. General, we love you. We thank you so much for being on our show as always. And Helena and James, we will hopefully get you back on soon. We'll see you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Go do something for America. Because we're we the people working. We don't work without you. See you next time, y'all. Bye, y'all.